Shalice here with another marriage and relationship tip for you. We are all overdue for a marriage and relationship tip. So let's get to it. So today I want to touch on communication. In my book, I don't really go too deep into the communication aspect because I wanted to give us more of an understanding of one another, of how we're wired. But today I think I need to talk about communication because I heard of some reports by, it being, we're in lockdown, shelter in place and things of that nature because of the COVID. I know that a lot of spouses are getting on each other's nerves. A lot of couples are starting to get on each other's nerves, or they're probably tired of looking at each other. So I want to tap on some communication. Also, I heard that the domestic violence rate is starting to go up in lieu of this COVID-19. I guess because people are in the home. They're home with each other all day, and so now they're starting to get on each other's nerves. So I figure I'll just give some, effective communication strategies today. So what affects the way we communicate? Our communication is filtered through our perspective. Meaning, what I mean by our perspective is that women, we see things through pink eyes, and we speak through pink mouths, and we hear through pink ears. That's our perception. That's how I look at our perception. And for men, it's blue eyes. They see things through blue eyes, and they speak through their blue mouths, and they hear through their blue ears. So it's our perception that causes us to have these communication gaps, I call them, or these communication lapses. So besides our perspective, there are other things that factor in that also affect our communication. And we have to take a little look at those. We have to take a closer look at those things that affect our communication. And so it's our communication that sometimes is a big problem in relationships. So one thing I think couples need to do, because those communication gaps come, and once they start coming, that's normally a sign or a recipe for disaster. Before you know it, people be going their own ways. So I want to close those communication gaps. So one thing couples need to do is you need to communicate more, meaning that you need to talk more. Find something to talk about. Have serious conversations. Have funny conversations. Random conversations. Have those type of conversations. Also, another thing, having too many responsibilities will interfere with your communication ability, meaning that it will interfere with you setting aside time just so you can have a conversation with your spouse. And so you have to find where your priorities at. And once you really define where your priorities at, then you can, eliminate those things that just need to be eliminated. You have to make your relationship a priority. But those things, bitterness, anger, on the telephone, watching TV, you're going to have to cut some of that stuff out and prioritize, because you got to close the communication gap. Listen, poor communication includes being defensive, criticizing, contemptuousness. All of those things are poor communication. You have to realize that, you have something to say, and that's fine. But your spouse, your partner has something to say too. So if you want them to listen to you, you have to also be willing to listen to them. So one thing that can help with poor communication is active listening techniques. An active listening technique is this. where you say something and your spouse, your partner, repeat it verbatim. So if I was to say, I don't like it when you don't listen to me, then you need to repeat that verbatim. I don't like it. You said, I don't like it when you don't listen to me. And then that need to go vice versa. If someone is, pouring their heart out and telling you the things that they don't like or the things that they need for you to hear, you need to let them know that you are paying attention, that they have your undivided attention by repeating what they have said. Another thing we must be aware of is our nonverbal communication, because we communicate nonverbally, baby. Yes, we do, especially when we're silent and we're quiet. Sometimes that can be misinterpreted. So just be mindful of when you're not saying nothing, your nonverbal communication, because it can also cause your spouse to think the wrong thing, and then you have, another argument or whatever, or someone feeling rejected or dejected. So, be careful of that also. Not only do you communicate verbally, but you also communicate non-verbally too. And another tip, when you communicate, please be respectful, be honest, don't have no hidden agenda, and be honest and speak from the heart. Speak from the heart. And so, nevertheless, thank you for joining me. I know you needed that tip. I hope you needed that tip. I hope you can use that tip. This has been Shalise. Thank you so much for joining me for this marriage and relationship tip. If you got something out of it and you believe that somebody else could get something or benefit or be blessed by it, just share this video. Share it. God bless you. Bye-bye.